Hi, Felix. We ran into technical difficulties last time, so this story's a little late. But I'm going to tell you some more about the stories of Gorilla and Pickle, the great vaudeville sing and dance team. You may remember that Gorilla did all the dancing and Pickle did all the singing. Now, they started to become really popular in the 1920s. In the 1920s, if you wanted to travel all over the country to appear in different theaters, you couldn't travel by plane, and you had to travel by either train. Well, you couldn't really travel by car either, because cars didn't work very well back then. So they had to travel mostly by train. And that was hard for them because Gorilla didn't fit very comfortably in the seats, and Pickle didn't fit in the seats at all because he was just a big pickle with no arms and legs, and he'd kind of roll over and fall out of the seats a lot. So eventually, when they became really successful, and they started getting booked in the biggest theaters in New York and Chicago and even in Seattle, they started making lots of money, and they built themselves their own custom train car. And it had special soft lining on the floor and on the walls. And for Gorilla, there was kind of like a big hammock. And Gorilla could sort of laze around in the hammock, and it would bounce along and sort of swing back and forth with the motion of the train. And Pickle had more of a kind of a beanbag chair sort of thing that he could rest in comfortably. And they had one person who worked on the train who just brought them drinks and food, and they didn't have to leave the car. And that was when they were most popular. They got to travel all day. Later on, when they started their European tour and there was demand all over Europe for Gorilla and Pickle to come sing and dance, they had to travel by ship. And again, they were rich and famous enough that they got to make a whole room of the ship that was just for a big gorilla and a giant pickle. Pickle was about as tall as I am, but again, just a mouth, and he sang really beautifully, but no arms and legs. And a famous pickle. And Gorilla, she could get up and move around on the boat, but she tended to get seasick when they were traveling overseas by boat. Pickle liked the boat, but it was hard for him to move around once. Eventually, when they made about their third trip, they hired somebody to just put him in a big chair and push him around on deck all day so that he could enjoy the salty air, which I think is what appealed to him about it. Okay, I will talk to you soon. Have a good week.